MD Investor in the house. MD Investor in the house again. Wayne Abrahams. This is the channel where we talk about personal finance, about setting goals, achieving goals, teaching financial intelligence to our children, and breaking the cycle of generational poverty. On Instagram, it's MD Investor One. On YouTube, MD Investor, where you can subscribe, where you can hit the notification bell to be notified when new content comes out. Pass information on to people you think may benefit from this personal finance information. We are leaving information where you can take action and change your life. It's not just information to say, that's interesting. Interesting to make changes. Today we're going to talk about compound interest. Compound interest. What is it? What's the power of it? Why do we care? Compound interest. Compound interest, simple definition that your interest that you make on your money is also making interest. That's simple. Right? We all know about interest, right? You have a saving account, and the banks will giving you X amount of interest per year. That's what it is. But compound interest, that it takes it to another level. Now the interest that you're getting gets its own interest. Okay, the interest gets its own interest, and it's a powerful tool. Albert Einstein said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world." Albert Einstein said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn it, and those who do not understand it pay it." Those who understand it earn it, and those who don't understand it pay it. Okay. Let's go through an example of compound interest. So you have $100, and this investment is returning 10% investment, 10% return on investment. So year one, at the beginning of year one, you put your $100 in. At the end of year one, you earn $10, 10%. At the beginning of year two, right? End of year one, beginning of year two, you now have $110. The $100 that you invested and the $10 interest that you earn. Beginning of year two, you have $110. At the end of year two, the $100 has again gained its 10% or $10. And now the $10 that you earned before is going to gain its own 10% or $1. Okay? End of year two, you're going to have the $100 again. You're going to have the $10, and now you're going to have a $1. Okay? So you're going to have now a $111. Okay? And it's actually going to repeat. Another year goes by, the $100 makes its 10% or $10. The $10 makes 10% of itself or $1, and the $1 is going to make 10% of itself or 10 cents. Time goes on again, and you see how it's been repeating, and what you're basically going to see is a snowball, okay? The $100 makes its $100. The $100 makes its 10% or $10. The $10 make 10% of itself or $1. The $1 is going to generate 10% of itself or 10 cents. And then the 10 cents is going to generate 10% of itself or 1 penny. Again, another year rolled by, and it keeps adding. And now the penny is going to get 10% of itself or 1/10 of a penny. Well, we know basically a fraction. But as you see, the idea, what you see, that you're getting almost like a snowball effect. A snowball effect, right? Initially, after 1 year, not that much. After 2 years, it grows in. And then after 10 years, after 20 years, you're going to have money that's raining out of the sky. Because interest is earning its interest. The key here, though, is time. You see that? How in the beginning was only that $10 that the $100 made. But after the next year, it was Not only was it $10 that the $100 made, but then the $10 made its 10% or its dollar. Took time. It took time to generate that, okay? It took time to, and that's a key factor here, okay? That's a key factor here. Time is a very key factor. We go through all of these examples where they'll give you two people. I'm just going to give you the concept, not the exact numbers. Two people, and they're both investing, say, $500 a month. One of them started at age, say, 25, and he ended up with, no, he starts at age 25, right? And he invests for 10 years. He invests for 10 years. He invests from age 25 to 35, and then he stopped investing. Then you have another person, but they started 10 years later. Instead of age 25, they started at age 35. And they invest all the way for, say, 40 years, from age 25 to age 45. Okay? And then you have, let's say you have those two people. And who do you think would end up with the most cash? The person who invested for 10 years actually invested a smaller amount of money. They actually invested a smaller amount of money because they only invested for 10 years. The person who invested for 40 years, they invested a lot more money, but it was 10 years later. Cut to the chase. The person who invested the 10 years earlier, but a smaller amount, ended up with a little more cash, more money than the person who invested more cash, but had less time. So the key takeaway here is that out of the two variables, time and money invested, the more powerful one is time. Time in the market is the key, man. You got to get your money invested. They say the best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time to invest is today. So don't be a procrastinator and delaying. You know, I'll do this when the kids get older. I'll do this when my money's right. I'll do this when I... You're always going to make excuses that you're going to lose time. You're going to lose compounding, okay? So time is the most important thing, okay? You gotta get time. And time is going to do the heavy lifting for you, okay? Time is going to do the heavy lifting for you. Because if you don't have time, then you have to put a lot more money, and then you got to do the heavy lifting. We don't want to do that. We want time to do the heavy lifting. And that's why, again, I talk about it on this channel, it's about breaking the cycle of generational poverty. Maybe we're a little older and we didn't start like when we should. That's fine. We're going to do the best we can. But we're going to teach our children that, you know what? You're going to start early. I know when you get your first job at 20, 25, you're going to be like, no, I'm going to a club. I'm going to do this. No. You're going to have money taken out pre-tax that you don't even see, not even touch, and that money's going to start doing the heavy lifting for you, okay? Initially, it's not going to be much, but when 10, 15, 20 years goes by, you're going to see how a tremendous amount of force and power this money is exerting. And you're not doing that much work. It's doing it for you, okay? The effect of compound interest, it can make you wealthy, which is what we're talking about. It can also make you poor. How so? How so? How so? Well, it can make you wealthy because we just talked about it, right? Time in the market, right? Having all your money there early and begin to compound. Remember, Albert Einstein said, it is the eighth wonder of the world, right? Those who understand it, so you understand I got to start early, make it. They're going to make it. Earn compound interest. But he also said, those who do not understand it are bound to pay it. How do we pay compound interest? Think about your credit card. Think about your credit card, or any loans you have. Student loans, credit card loans. You say, wait a minute, I've been paying the minimum payment, it seemed like forever, and I still can't get ahead. That's compound interest working against you. Okay? It's working in the favor of the banks and the credit card. It's working against you. Okay? What you should have done is put big chunks, and knock it out. That little minimum payment, minimum payment, it leaves it around like a cancer. Unless you kill all the cells, they're going to begin to replicate and double and triple. And that's why it seems like you've been paying for years and I still can't get rid of it. That's compound interest working against you. That's why I said those who understand it earn it, and those who do not understand it are bound to pay it. A lot of us have been paid compound interest. Our minimum credit card, or student loans, or mortgages, all this stuff. It's compound interest working in the bank's favor and the credit card's favor, working against us. So the take-home message, guys, start today. Like I said, the best time to invest is yesterday. Second best time to invest is today. One little tidbit too, just to nail this point home that time is really what worked for us to get this money. We did a video on the power of $100. And we said $100 per month, getting, I think it might have been 8 or 9% or 10% return on investment every year. After 100 years, it would be worth $250 million or $250 million. How does $100 a month for 100 years get to be so much money? Compound interest. Okay? Compound interest. Time is such a long, wide amount of time, a century of compounding. That's how $100 a month for 100 years at 10% turns out into $250 million. Where you can leave a legacy wealth. You can break generational poverty in your family because of time. I'll give you a quick example today, guys. It's very easy to become a millionaire, guys. It's very simple. If it seems complicated and all this stuff, it's very simple to retire with $1 million. Let me give you a simple one right here. $200 a month invested for 40 years, getting a 10% return on investment. You will end up with $1,264,815.88. Let me repeat that again. $200 a month invested in and earning 10% return on investment, and you keep that investment for 40 years, you'll finish with $1,264,815.88. If that doesn't convince you that compound interest works on your favor, but given time, I don't know what else will. $200 a month, 10% return on investment, 40 years, $1,264,815.88. A little, very small amount of money, $200 a month. Very small amount of money, but it can do wonders. Imagine if that was in a Roth IRA where you pay the tax up front and it's going to be tax-free. That's the power, guys, of compound interest. So the take-home message, guys, is start today. The more time you have working for you, the better. So MD Investor, okay, talking about breaking the cycle of generational poverty, talking about setting goals and achieving goals, talking about financial intelligence, talking about doing things differently, doing things, smart things with our money. On Instagram, MD Investor 1. Continue to subscribe, continue to like. If there's people out there you think could benefit from this personal finance information, let them know. Let them know. MD Investor, MD Investor. We'll see you on the next video.